What's up, guys? Duncan here, and today we're going to discuss some things that you need to know before you travel to Russia. Now, I've been in Russia for a little over 4 months, and basically, this is going to be the video that I wish I would have had before I came to Russia. So let's get right into it. But first, as always, please like, subscribe, and if any questions pop up in your head, write them down in the comments. All right, to start it off, you need a visa before you come to Russia. Now, the process of getting the visa involves some paperwork and some bureaucracy, which can be a little bit complicated and too much of a hassle for some people. So I would suggest that maybe you can do what I did, and that is hire a company to help you out. I'll put a link in the description for the one that I used. All right, and next up, and this one is very important. You need to double check what is the last country that your airplane departs from before it enters into Russia. If it's not on Russia's approved list of countries, you are going to get turned away at the border, and it's going to be an unpleasant day for you. All right, this next one, I can't say it's guaranteed that you'll have to deal with this, but just a heads up, there's a chance that the airplane that you're flying over on for that long flight might be very, very toasty warm. I took a direct flight from New York straight to Moscow. It was around a 10-hour flight, Aeroflot airplane, and it was toasty warm the entire flight over, and I felt a little bit kind of overdressed for it. When I took my flight from Cincinnati to New York on my generic Delta airplane, it was actually pretty chilly. I mean, you could almost feel like a breeze coming through the plane and like, ooh, had to throw on the sweater and it was all right. But for the Russian airplane, the Aeroflot, for that long flight over, man, they kept it very, very warm in the cabin. All right, and next up, and this is going to be a very interesting one for you. Your cell phone is not going to be working when your airplane lands in Russia. For me personally, I was on Verizon, and I had no service, no ability to call anything, but I did get a strange text message that offered to continue my original phone service, but for a very exorbitant fee. Like, we're talking a lot of money to continue it. But what I would suggest for you guys is go to get a new chip for a new cell phone carrier in Russia, and my suggestion is Megaphone. Why Megaphone specifically? Because you have unlimited data for a hotspot. So I'm going to guess a lot of you are bringing over a laptop with you. You want to use internet on your laptop. Well, Megaphone is the only one I've found that gives you unlimited data for the Wi-Fi hotspot. All right, and next up, you made it off the plane. You're in Russia. You've got your bags. You're on your way to leave the airport, and you see a big glowing sign that says, exchange money here. And you get really excited. Oh my gosh, I'm going to see Russian rubles for the first time. But do not exchange your money at the airport, because these exchange businesses at the airport are going to be taking out a substantial percent of your money within that exchange. Don't do it. All right, as for using money in Russia, for the most part, my American debit card works just fine whenever I'm making purchases in person within a grocery store or whatever store. Also, I can use it in any ATM to withdraw money. But here's a problem that I came across is trying to use my card to order something on an app, let's say in a taxi or maybe some sort of food service, or ordering something online, let's say a train ticket or some sort of item on Ozone or Yandex Market. And that's because I had my card set up to call or text me in order to confirm that I'm the one making the purchase. As I mentioned earlier, my former cell phone carrier is gone. So now they're calling a dead number. I'm on my new carrier. So yeah, that was a giant headache for me. So what I ended up doing was getting a Sberbank card and then using my American card to withdraw cash and then taking that cash and putting it on my Russian debit card, Sberbank, and then that allows me to purchase items, not in person, either on a cell phone app or online. And a quick tidbit of information to add to that is that when withdrawing money from an American account on the Sberbank ATM, the maximum amount of rubles you can withdraw each time is going to be 7,500 rubles, which comes out to just a little bit over $100. Let's just say $100. And each time I do that withdrawal, I get a $2.50 ATM fee, And then on top of that, I get a $3 international processing fee. So long story short, whenever you're taking money from America using your card on an ATM, for every $100 that you take over from America, they're going to be charging you about $5.50. All right, next up on the topic of cell phones, I'm going to suggest two apps that are very necessary for you here. It's going to be Yandex Go and Yandex Maps. It's for ordering taxis and for whenever you're walking around on foot to navigate where you're walking to. And an important thing to mention, you are really going to want to use an app for ordering your taxis because you just can't trust the people here to not try to overcharge you once they realize that you're an American. So a way to avoid that is to use an app like Yandex Go. All right, and next up, whenever you're traveling around Russia, in general, it's going to be better to rent an apartment instead of staying at a hotel. What you gain from having an apartment is often you'll get a little bit more space to move around. It'll feel a little bit more at home. You'll have a kitchen. Often you'll have a washing machine if you need to wash your clothes. And just in general, it's usually more pleasant. But if you're going to be renting this hotel, often you're going to need to get in contact with the person you're renting from. And a lot of the time, they're not going to speak English. So that brings us to an important point is I highly suggest that you study and learn Russian as much as you can before you come over here to Russia. It will make your life so much more pleasant and you will just simply enjoy your time here so much more if you know Russian. All right, and last up, prepare mentally and emotionally for the culture shock you're going to experience once you get here and start meeting people for the first time and interacting with them. It's going to be much different than what you're used to in a place like America. And by that, I mean that in general, in America, if you're coming up and meeting someone for the first time, there's going to be a base level of, that sort of positive friendliness. Oh, hey, how you doing? How can I help? Etc. But in Russia, you're not going to be experiencing that much. And you might even get what could be a very cold or unpleasant reaction from people. And for some people, I know for me, it was hard to get used to. It can just be something that kind of might hurt your feelings at first. But it's nothing personal. It's just how the culture is here. And I think if you just make it a point to expect it to happen when you get here, then it'll make it much easier for you. But all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. And I really hope that this video can be helpful to those of you that are planning to come over here to Russia. And if you have any questions or comments about what we discussed, please write it down in the comments. All right, guys, take care. I'll see you in the next video.